Beyond the Gates spoilers. For the week of December 15, hint that Anita Dupree will reach out to the police, while there's chemistry felt between Danny Dupree and Bill Hamilton when the two interact. In fact, the OG Hamiltons, Danny, Bill, and their daughters, Chelsea Hamilton and Naomi Hawthorne, will gather at the country club at some point next week. BTG spoilers tease that Danny and Bill will remember a spicy moment during their marriage, which leaves Chelsea and Naomi unsettled. Even the weekly preview shows a scene where Bill and Danny are joking around, and there's a certain sparkle in her eyes as she looks at her ex, so #Team Bonnie fans shouldn't count these two out, despite her newlywed glow with Andre Ricardson. Meanwhile, as Bill and Danny feel sparks, Randy Parker and Haley Hamilton will talk about their plan to end her husband's life. Haley has been dropping poison in his tea, just a little at a time, so will she decide to speed the process up during the week of December 15? Back to Andre, he'll be approached by someone unknown to form an unholy alliance. Will it be Derek Baldwin? Will Derek hope that Andre can help him win back Ashley Morgan? Elsewhere, Chelsea and Dr. Madison Montgomery will continue to have issues, and it sounds like this has to do with Madison's mom and the doctor wanting to sever all ties with the woman. Regardless, the ladies will end up turning to someone unexpected for some assistance with their romance woes. Chelsea will also be involved in a family blow-up, as Beyond the Gates spoilers suggest that Samantha Richardson will have a heated exchange with both Chelsea and Catherine Cat Richardson. Cat and Chelsea will probably be a little upset that Samantha threw them both under the bus to Martin Richardson. So will these three be able to clear the air? In other news, June's past will inspire Samantha regarding something she has planned for her future. Across town, Eva Thomas will be pleasantly surprised when Isaiah Hawthorne makes a bold move. Will these two hit the sheets? Still, as Friday, December 5th rolls around, Isaiah will also receive a warning from Jacob Hawthorne. What could this be about? However, Jacob won't be the only one issuing warnings, as Veron Dupree won't mince words when he gives Joey Armstrong a warning of his own. This very well could be about Martin, as Bradley Smitty Smith will also have a confrontation with Joey in an effort to protect his hubby. On to some fun BTG spoilers. Winterfest will kick off during the Friday show, so fans can expect a lot of talk about the big event and preparation. Anita will turn to Elon Hawthorne for police assistance. So is this to ensure security is top-notch at the festive gala, or could she need to talk to him about something else? In addition, Anita will also make a stunning announcement at the party too. But Anita's news won't be the only surprise at Winterfest, as Damone Roberts, the best eyebrows guy, who was talked about by Danny and Anita during the week of November 24-28th, will be on hand for the event and help the Dupree family prep for it. It looks like everyone's eyebrows will be in tip-top shape, and fans will likely enjoy the special guest as he socializes in the land of Fairmont Crest. Interestingly enough, Leslie Thomas will also be at Winterfest, working hard to ensure Ted Richardson and Eva have a special time. On the topic of Leslie, she'll have a life-or-death situation and turn to Nicole Dupree at some point over the next 5 days. Will her rival agree to help? Lastly, Ted and Tomás Navarro will share an awkward run-in. So much so, it'll prompt the lawyer to ask Kat a major question. Beyond the Gates spoilers tease that Tomás could ask Kat to marry him, considering the talk he had with Bill recently. So what will her answer be? Hey babes, welcome back to Gossip Delight. It's your girl Daisy, and trust me, today's tea is scorching, steamy, and absolutely unmissable. Buckle up because we're diving straight into the drama. On Beyond the Gates, we had a very Fairmont Crest kind of Thanksgiving. This time, however, it looked very different for the residents, as some were absent and new additions joined families. On a day all about family and togetherness, being thankful for what you have was the order of the day. This year, there were fewer people around the table for the Duprees. Anita and Vernon host Thanksgiving for their family at the Fairmont Crest Country Club, so that Rowena, their chef, can have the holiday off to be with her family. This year, Vernon and Anita were joined by Jacob, Naomi, and Nicole, with a new addition, Jacob's younger brother, Isaiah. Instead of spending the holiday alone, he joined Jacob and avoided another fight with his father, Elon. Vanessa was surprised by Joey, who had taken over the restaurant uptown and turned it into his own private kitchen for the night, so he could treat Vanessa to his cooking skills and see to it that she had a day that was all about her and someone made all the efforts for her. Vanessa loved this, and the two ate and wined, dined, and then danced together. Danny and Andre were at her place, although she encourages her young husband to call it their place. The two of them had fun in the kitchen, and Andre gave Danny a friendly ribbing about whether she knew how to cook or not. Danny then took the stage and taught Andre all about dishwashers and the joy of Cascade detergent. The turkey caught fire and was burned, but that didn't stop the two of them from enjoying some quality time together, when all that mattered, really, was that they were together. Bill and Haley sat at the country club and watched the Duprees from across their table. Bill reminisced in his head about previous dinners, and Haley winced at seeing Bill so distracted. Bill went to the table to wish them all a happy Thanksgiving, but it was a pretty frosty moment. Haley, however, wasn't unhappy to see Isaiah, and that made things infinitely better for her, given her plans for this young man. At Orphe Jean's, Ted, Eva, and Leslie had their very first Thanksgiving together, and for Ted, it was his first without Nicole. This was heartwarming to see, and one could easily cast aside all the nonsense Leslie has caused, and the trifling matter of trying to kill Laura twice. The Richardson Smiths had a new addition to their table this year. Martin and Smitty, along with their two children, Tyrell and Samantha, were joined by June, who was very overwhelmed to be able to have this holiday with her biological children. To complete the picture, Ted and Eva came over for dessert after finishing their meal. Eva was all smiles, and it had truly been a Thanksgiving for the ages for her. Nurse Ashley had a small but much-needed Thanksgiving at home, her first time hosting, with her mother Jan. Mona arrived and had brought some of her own cooking to share, and the three settled in for a lovely time together. Notably absent was Derek, whom Ashley had broken up with just recently. Not only was he absent from the dinner, which would have been a first for some time, but he was absent from the entire episode. "Where are you, Derek? Blink twice if you need help." To close the holiday, beyond the gates, Vernon stood at his table and gave his traditional Thanksgiving speech. All eyes were on him, including Bill's. Vernon talked of being grateful and of finding that gratefulness. Even when it was hard to do so, there was always something if one looked. Here are your Beyond the Gates spoilers for next week. Here's a look ahead at the episodes we'll see from Monday, December 1st to Friday, December 5th, 2025. Cursed elevators, Vernon and Bill argue, and Rop arrives. We start at the Fairmont Crest Country Club, where Danny and Vanessa are chatting at a table, when Wendy Osefo and Giselle Bryant from the hit show The Real Housewives of Potomac arrive. Osefo throws a card on the table and tells Vanessa that they had called the number Vanessa gave them. Osefo turns her well-styled hair and looks disgusted, while Bryant just stares at Vanessa defiantly. Obviously unimpressed with some matter to do with Vanessa's new project, managing Heart Attach, Joey's escort agency. Danny makes a face and says, "So you're seeking customers at the country club?" Vanessa tells Danny that she resents being categorized as a pimp, and Danny replies with, "How about Madame?" Martin and Smitty are sitting on the couch at the brownstone, both dressed for work. Martin tells Smitty that Joey is a dangerous man, and he has me right where he wants me. The scene cuts to Joey at the casino, smiling while looking at a piece of paper. Martin owes Joey from when Chelsea was kidnapped, and they needed Joey's help tracing the escort known as Craig so that they could find Chelsea and Allison. It would be in Joey's best interest to help Martin in his political career to get re-elected to maintain having a congressman who owes him. Bill and Vernon are at the Dupree mansion when Vernon looks at Bill sternly and tells him that he knew the consequences before he chose what he wrought. Vernon is once again unhappy that Bill decided to use Joey to help with the cover-up and the consequent actions taken to help Martin stay out of jail. Again, Joey has leverage, and Vernon knows it will be Martin who pays the price. Randy and Haley meet up again, and Randy asks Haley if there is any reason she's trippin' without a map. Haley, obviously riled up at this, replies with, "Yes, and you know just who it is." Haley refers to her using Isaiah as a piece of the plan to have Bill die of natural causes, Seeing the two together intimately could just set Bill off with a heart attack if he's ingested enough of her infernal herbal tea. Back at the casino, Vanessa slams her whiskey glass down and exclaims, "I told you over and over that I don't give a damn about their opinions. What is it, Joey?" Vanessa is sure to ask Joey what he thinks he is protecting her from. Joey hasn't told Vanessa the true extent of his operations, the things he is mixed up in, and the things he controls. The two meet at a cafe and share a kiss. Eva's voice says she feels as if she is wrapped up in a dream. After the kiss, they sit down, and Isaiah remarks that she tastes good. Tomas is not going to like finding out about this week. At the Fairmont Crest Country Club again, Danny, Bill, and their two daughters, Chelsea and Naomi, sit around a table sharing a drink. Danny asks, "Did our daughters inherit their complete lack of subtlety from you or from me?" Both girls and Bill point at Danny, and Bill says, "Definitely you." At the same time, Danny looks at Bill, saying, "You." The final scene we see is Ted and Shanice in the elevator at Garland Memorial Hospital. The elevator lurches, and Shanice yells, "Ted, this elevator is cursed!" Ted fumbles with the buttons and looks shocked, then turns to Shanice. This is the elevator where Andre and Ashley delivered a baby, not long into Beyond the Gates' journey on our screens. After 2 reruns and a preemption, we are more than ready to get back in amongst some new episodes of our favorite Sudsur. This is going to be a big week, soap fans. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Monday, December 4 reveal that Andre Richardson will get cornered, while Vanessa McBride will unleash some fury, and Vernon Dupree will dish out some harsh truths. After a 3-day hiatus, BTG fans are anxious to get back to the drama at Fairmont Crest, and the new CBS soap will deliver during Monday's show. First off, Bradley "Smitty" Smith will visit Joey Armstrong. It sounds like Smitty will confront the casino owner about the IOU he has over his husband, Martin Richardson. If viewers recall, when Martin's cousin, Chelsea Hamilton, was kidnapped, Martin approached Joey for help. The criminal was more than happy to oblige, but he did warn that Martin would owe him one. Martin knows how dangerous Joey is, but he was desperate to find Chelsea. With that said, can Smitty convince Joey to back off his congressman husband? Speaking of Joey, BTG spoilers for the December 1st episode suggest that his gal pal, Vanessa, will be full of fury. That's because Danny Dupree will question her friend's new business venture and decisions after some women at the country club approach them during a meal. Danny will be judgmental. After all, why would Vanessa solicit clients for her escort business at the Fairmont Crest Country Club of all places? Still, Vanessa will lash back at Danny and defend her actions, so this could be the beginning of the end for Danny and the blonde's friendship. Meanwhile, Danny's new hubby, Andre, will get cornered by none other than Derek Baldwin. The firefighter will have some pointed questions about Ashley Morgan. However, as he's her ex, he has no right to any answers from Andre. Plus, Andre and Ashley aren't as close as they used to be since Andre and Danny tied the knot. Will Derek ask Andre for help to win Ashley back? Lastly, Vernon will sling some hard truths Bill Hamilton's way. The Dupree patriarch and his former son-in-law have had some explosive confrontations in the past, and Monday's episode will prove to be another big one. But what exactly do they clash about this time around? Only time will tell. Beyond the Gates spoilers hint that the Monday, December 1st episode will be filled with drama, intrigue, and a little chaos, so fans won't want to miss a moment of the fun. Beyond the Gates spoilers imply some shocking moments during the week of December 1st, which could include Tomas Navarro proposing to Catherine, Kat Richardson. While the two haven't been dating that long, there's a good chance the lawyer could shock the socialite by getting down on one knee. Here's why. Beyond the Gates spoilers remind fans that during the week of November 24th-28th, Bill Hamilton had a very serious conversation with Tomas. In fact, he thanked him for his loyalty and talked about his future with the firm. One thing that Bill was adamant about when it came to promoting anyone to partner status was the assurance that the person had a stable home life. While Bill didn't say he thought that Tomas should get married, it was hinted. Plus, Bill noted that he was happy that Tomas was in a committed relationship with Kat. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Friday, December 5th. suggest that Thomas will have an awkward encounter with Ted Richardson. Whatever the two chat about will have the lawyer heading to Kat with a massive question to ask. After all, Ted knows that Tomas slipped between the sheets with both his daughters, and he might call him out on this. Could Ted even demand that Tomas guarantee he has the best of intentions with Kat? Between Bill's statement at the country club and his encounter with Ted, Tomas may feel as if proposing to Kat, albeit a bit early and unexpected, might be the best way to go. Not only for his career, but his personal life too. After all, Toms does care for Kat, and the two have been having a good time, so will he go all in and ask for her hand in marriage? In addition, expect confrontations between Smitty and Joey Armstrong, as well as Vernon and Bill. On the Monday, December 1st, episode of Beyond the Gates, expect plenty of tension, tempers, and truths. Vanessa doesn't hold back when she feels her business decisions are questioned. Meanwhile, Derek corners Andre and questions him about Ashley. Even Smitty goes on the offense as the month of December begins. Vanessa prides herself on being an ace businesswoman. She built a successful real estate agency. Now that she has taken over Joey's escort service, she is opening up the company to new avenues of revenue, namely, the lonely women who are members of the Fairmont Crest Country Club. Well, two of her new clients aren't happy, and they look a lot like Giselle Bryant and Wendy Osefo of the Bravo juggernaut reality TV show, Real Housewives of Potomac. In BTG's sneak peek of the week ahead, you can see how unhappy the women are, and Danny calls her friend out on it. Vanessa becomes triggered when she feels judged and perceived as less than. What will she do? Apparently, Derek can't let the Ashley phase of his life go. On Monday, he corners Andre with pointed questions about his former fiancée. Seriously? Andre has moved on. He told Ashley as much when she texted him after her engagement ended. How much will Andre actually tell Derek? And this means that Derek is still pining for the nurse, right? On Thanksgiving, Bill basked in being in the same room as Vernon and the Duprees. Vernon gave his Thanksgiving toast, which was warm, profound, and inclusive, and Bill wanted to be a part of it. He wanted to soak up the wisdom. However, the Duprees weren't quite warm when Bill showed up at their table, and they definitely gave Haley the cold shoulder. Bill is frustrated because he's no longer in the Duprees' inner circle. On Monday, he and Vernon will have words. In fact, Vernon delivers harsh truths to Bill. Will this cause Danny's ex-husband to isolate himself, making it much easier for Haley to target him? Here's an unexpected exchange that will grow tense and heated. Smitty confronts Joey Armstrong to protect Martin. The investigative journalist knows that Martin owes Joey a huge favor that the corrupt casino owner will undoubtedly cash in on whenever the mood strikes him. Martin is about to go into re-election mode, so the fact that he has this connection to a less than savory individual is bad news for his political career. How will Smitty fare against Joey? Beyond the Gates, Haley is a card-carrying bad girl. Not only did she steal her BFF's father from her mother, but now the little vixen is trying to murder him for his money and lusting after another man. Nonetheless, Marquita Goings doesn't see her character as being rotten to the core. She's still a human being, the actress reminds Soaps.com. And with people who aren't living the norm or are doing questionable things, you've got to ask, where's this coming from? Why are you like that? In Haley's case, Goings knows the answer. The supposed orphan lived from home to home, she notes, and honed survival skills that might best be described as lethal. What Goings would really like to happen in the future is for the show to surprise us by introducing Haley's parents. Then, she suggests, we'd see if her tragic history is all a fairy tale and she's just using that story. We'd get to find out what's the truth behind her. And maybe the truth is even worse than the character has said. Although she's doing so much when it comes to, okay, she's now with her best friend's father and she's trying to poison him, it would be good to know why. If we can get more insight into her, we can see if we really like her, or she's crazy, or, okay, she's damaged, and she's acting out. Beyond the Gates gave a few bad romances that we've seen this year on the inaugural season of the CBS soap. See if you agree. As we rank and count down from number 5, which was bad, all the way down to number 1, which was truly toxic as a soap pairing. Just so you know, 2 of these toxic romances involve the same man. We combined them, and they are our number 5 on the list. So, let's dive into it. Our number 5 worst romances of Beyond the Gates. Both belong to Tomas Navarro. One is with Kat Richardson, and the other with her sister Eva Thomas. I will say Tomas seemed sweet when he first started pursuing Kat. Tomas was patient with Kat, who'd never been intimate with a man before. Tomas even tapped the brakes to make sure Kat was certain that it was the right time before they made love. The thing is, I don't think Tomas is the guy that Kat thinks he is. I mean, Tomas talks a good game, but he can be really toxic. When he and Kat had that argument after another bad time in bed, Tomas went and did the deed with her sister Eva. In pretty much every single situation, Tomas sides with Eva over Kat. I will say that Eva absolutely deserves heat for her role in Dana Leslie Thomas' scheme that broke up Kat's family. But some of the things that Kat has said, I think, have been over the line and very immature. For example, telling Eva that she wishes Leslie had aborted her. I mean, that was terrible and way over the line. Still, I don't think Tomas is ever going to be ride or die for Kat. As for Thompson Eva, he was flirting with her from the jump. They bonded over those nerd books they liked, but Tomas showing up at Eva hotel room to discuss sci-fi novels was absolutely inappropriate. Thomas was ready to get in Eva's pants while he was still with Kat. Eva tapped the brakes, saying she didn't want to be like her mom, Leslie. But then, when Toms was helping Eva move into the apartment, Toms told her that he and Kat had split up. Eva was like, well, okay, and they slept together. It turns out Toms was not being honest. He and Kat had had an argument, but they were still together as far as she knew. I think he just wanted his ego and other parts of him stroked. Then he ditched Eva again and went running after Kat. I don't think Tomas should have tangled with sisters. I kind of think both of them should kick him to the curb. All right, our number 4 worst romance of the year on Beyond the Gates is little Haley Lawson and her big, hot husband, Bill Hamilton. I think we all knew they were toxic from the very first episode when we found out Haley infiltrated their family and stole Bill from Danny. Also, I suspected Haley was running a long con. A lot of fans did. It turns out we were all right. She and Randy Parker are plotting to kill Bill for $10 million. Right now, Haley is drugging Bill, hoping to trigger his death. But also, Bill is toxic because he was recently kissing his ex-wife Danny Dupree. That was only because Bill was jealous that she had married a hot younger guy, Andre. Bill wasn't even looking twice at Danny that way, and hadn't put his lips on her like that until she got somebody else. So, I think Bill is actually getting a visit from Karma by Haley trying to kill him. They are a totally toxic pair. I can't even say they don't deserve each other. Our number 3 couple on the bad romance list on Beyond the Gates is a pair that honestly never fully manifested. They never coalesced as a formal couple. That's the ill-fated duo of Ashley Morgan and Andre Richardson. We know he had a crush on Ashley for quite a while, but the timing was never right. Plus, Andre was traveling a lot for work, and he was a playboy. Meanwhile, Ashley was blue-collar and in nursing school. She was just a more basic chick. But Andre was still really hot for her. When he got his flirt on with Ashley, she was tempted, especially because she saw the future she'd have with Derek was very average and very pedestrian. Ashley wanted something bigger from life, but the timing was always off for Andre and Ashley. He tempted her with that Paris date night at his place, and then she kind of tapped the brakes. Andre almost got with Ashley. Then she showed up at his place to say, "Okay, let's do this." She saw him lip-locking with Danny after he and Danny had decided not to be together. That threw things off. Then Derek was paralyzed for a while, and Ashley felt obligated. Andre drunk married Danny. So now Andre and Danny are falling in love. And Ashley dumped Derek. She's single as a Pringle. She tried to get back with Andre, but it's too late. Bottom line, Ashley and Andre just seemed ill-fated from the start. Honestly, I never saw chemistry between them to justify his attraction to Ashley. So, I think it's a good thing this romance fizzled out early. All right, our number 2 worst romance on Beyond the Gates this year is Vanessa McBride and Joey Armstrong. However, I like the sizzle, but I still think it's a bad romance. I have to give an honorable mention as well to Vanessa and her poor dead husband Doug as another truly terrible romance for 2025 on Beyond the Gates. Now, while I do think that Vanessa and Joey are a bad romance, I also really like them together. Vanessa was cuckolding Doug because she wasn't satisfied. Doug was blowing a whole bunch of cash at the casino because he wasn't satisfied. Vanessa was chasing a thrill in bed, and Doug was chasing a thrill at the betting table. Then Joey got between them very intentionally. He gave Vanessa that thrill she was looking for. He scammed Doug into losing to leverage Vanessa into laundering money for him. But then Joey got all up in his feels for Vanessa. That was never part of his plan. Things hit an all-time low when Joey had Doug killed because he was an obstacle that was keeping Joey from having Vanessa all to himself. I mean, it's romantic in a dark mobster kind of way, right? Doug was absolutely intent on taking down Joey and kept plotting to get him arrested. So that was part of it too. Doug had to go. Now Vanessa is satisfied in bed. She's turning into quite a little criminal herself, running Joey Armstrong's escort services and laundering money through her realty company. She has thrived in the criminal lifestyle. She likes life on the edge. Vanessa is still very much a thrill junkie, and Joey is a bad influence. I do enjoy them, but come on, it's a bad romance. All right, and of course, you probably guessed already, the #1 worst romance on Beyond the Gates in its inaugural season is Leslie and Ted Richardson. They were bad back in the day when Ted cheated with Leslie and knocked her up while Nicole was dealing with infertility. She had just miscarried when Ted started knocking boots with waitress Leslie Sardana. Then, Bill made threats and told Leslie that she had to get an abortion. Ted thought that's what happened, so they have a grown daughter, and Leslie came back absolutely intent on ruining Ted's life, but she was still hot for him too. So it was all very toxic. What was totally crazy was he slept with Leslie again recently while he was drunk and was using very poor judgment. Actually, no judgment at all. Ted needs to get an apartment with a doorman and a restraining order against Leslie to keep her away. Now that she has another taste of her teddy bear, I think Leslie will never give up. What she and Ted have is never going to be anything but a very, very bad romance. The worst on Beyond the Gates this year. Drop your comments. Beyond the Gates Daily YAPP for Thursday, November 27th. Welcome to the Beyond the Gates Daily YAPP. For a quick, and by that, I mean you're already halfway done, recap of the most amazing or what the heck did we just watch moments on today's episode. Let's get to it. Happy Thanksgiving to all celebrating it today. If your family fights on Thanksgiving, let's hope you don't have a Chelsea Hamilton to live stream it. Today we got a repeat of episode 104, which was the one lots of us were waiting for. If you missed it the first time around, you were really in for a treat. Anita, Tracy, and Sharon take the stage as the Articulettes, with most of Fairmont, Crest, and more in attendance. The music is jumping, and everyone is grooving to it, despite Leslie and Eva crashing the event. Well, they didn't crash the event. They had paid tickets like everyone else. Of course, Leslie stole Eva's ticket to get herself in, and Carlton sat close and kept an eye on her. For the first time, there was no troublemaking from Leslie. She just genuinely loved the music. There is a very touching tribute to Barbara as well, something Anita gave her fans as a big truth bomb. Also of note, Danny and Andre kiss at the concert and don't care who sees it. Chelsea witnesses it and can't hide her dropped jaw. She'll have words to say about that, but that's for another episode. Hope you all enjoyed seeing this again. Or if it was your first time, I hope your catch-up journey is going well. Want more details? We got you. Soap Central has the best full recaps on the internet. You can even go back over 30 years and read each one of them. If you can't wait until the next episode, we have daily spoilers too. And whatever you do this weekend, do not. Seriously, do not. Forget to read the 2 scoops for some laughs in the as close as we can come to being a watching party without actually being a show. And the best part is if you agree or disagree, we want to know. As always, share your comments below. Joey may have romanced Vanessa with a fancy Thanksgiving dinner, but in the new promo for Beyond the Gates, it appears the winds have shifted, and Vanessa isn't happy with her man. Meanwhile, Haley's plans for Bill seem to be going off the rails, and Martin and Smitty's marriage looks to face another test. Plus, did someone say cursed elevator? Danny and Vanessa may be friends, but that doesn't mean that the former is willing to turn a completely blind eye to the latter's actions, especially when Danny realizes exactly what Vanessa's latest side hustle is. In a fitting crossover, several of the Real Housewives of Potomac show up, and they make it clear they're not interested in what Vanessa's trying to sell. It soon becomes obvious that Joey and Vanessa's relationship is more complicated than we'd imagined. Are lines about to be drawn and things said which can't be unsaid? And does Smitty have good reason to be worried about the connection his husband shares with the casino owner? Something tells us that while politics make for strange bedfellows, this particular arrangement might be downright dangerous. Danny's newfound happiness with Andre is clearly irking Bill, who had the nerve to drag Haley to the country club for Thanksgiving, knowing dining there is a Dupree family tradition. Perhaps that's why Vernon is taking Bill to task. As for Haley, it's looking as if she's taken her eyes off that $10 million prize, and we aren't the only ones to have noticed. Is Randy right to worry that his partner in crime is spending more time flirting with Isaiah than poisoning her hubby? Finally, Ted and Shanice find themselves trapped in the hospital elevator, and whatever Ted does only makes their situation worse. Shanice, well aware that this particular conveyance has had troubles in the past, theorizes that perhaps the elevator is cursed. But hey, given the sparks we've seen fly between Ted and Shanice, maybe they can break the supposed curse. Together, there was a mini General Hospital reunion in Atlanta, where Greg Vaughn was shooting beyond the gates. Greg Vaughn experienced firsthand the perks of shooting beyond the gates in Atlanta. During a brief visit, he was reunited with his former General Hospital co-star, Natalia Livingston. While shooting his new role on BTG, Greg Vaughn was able to reconnect with his former GH co-star, Natalia Livingston. The two worked closely together on the ABC soap as they were part of the younger scene. Vaughn shared several images from their time spent together in Atlanta, where Livingston lives with her husband and children. He captioned the share, "Quick trip to Atlanta and spoiled with a home-cooked meal with Georgia's finest family. Grateful for good food, great laughs, some story time, and talent shows." It's evident from the photos that the old friends thoroughly enjoyed reconnecting and spending time together. Vaughn posed with Livingston's kids, with the family, and with his longtime friend. It was clear the kids enjoyed having Mr. Greg around, as they drew photos and wrote kind words about him. In the early 2000s, Greg Vaughn and Natalia Livingston started working at GH around the same time. They shared several scenes throughout their runs as part of the younger crowd in Port Charles at the time. Vaughn's Lucky was part of the friend group that included Elizabeth, Nicholas C. Adesit, and Livingston's Emily Quartermain. They had several juicy storylines, including the black and white ball, where Emily met her untimely demise. Lucky, Emily, Elizabeth, and Nicholas were thick as thieves over 20 years ago in Port Charles. Elizabeth is the only one left from the group currently airing today, although Jonathan Jackson's version of Lucky did a brief stint recently. Livingston is currently residing in Atlanta, BFA, with her family, and Vaughn has joined BTG in a new role. Seeing them reunite years after their time together on GH was heartwarming as well as nostalgic. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.